My name's Elise Webster, and I've been part of college church for my whole life, so 24 years. My parents have been were parishioners before I was born, so I've been going to college church since practically day one of my life. So my family is heavily involved in the parish. Mom's in the choir, dad's an acolyte, and my siblings and I completed the catechesis of the Good Shepherd program. So, needless to say, college church has played a major role in my life and faith formation. So last year, I graduated from SLU with a degree in nutrition and dietetics, and I'm now a registered dietitian. Throughout my undergrad and internship years, we discussed and saw firsthand that those of the lower socioeconomic status generally have worse health outcomes compared to those in the middle and upper classes, and greater light has been shed on this issue in the past few months. So there is a high prevalence of obesity, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, chronic kidney diseases, and mortality resulting from these chronic diseases in poor populations. The diseases that I mentioned are generally preventable or manageable if given proper medical care and attention. However, many of these people lack the insurance as they don't qualify for Medicaid, but they are still unable to pay for their private insurance. So they're unable to fund proper, consistent care and needed medications. And as you can imagine, their health suffers and chronic diseases are exacerbated. For example, someone with diabetes may not be able to afford the insulin that they need, so they end up in the ER with ketoacidosis because they're either not using insulin at all because they can't afford it or rationing out the insulin that they do have. My clinical rotation was only 10 weeks long, but I saw this happen so many times in the hospital. Somebody coming in and being admitted to the ICU because of ketoacidosis. They weren't using insulin because they couldn't afford it, or coming in during a hypertensive crisis because they weren't able to afford care from a cardiologist or medications. So also in the realm of dietetics, we talk about the fact that people in the lower socioeconomic statuses, their goals are geared towards short-term problems. How do you solve the short-term problems, the ones that have immediate effects? And health insurance and health care is not a priority in most of these poorer households. So we talk a lot about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So in the hierarchy of needs, there are 7 levels of needs. And those at the bottom are the basic needs. And those must be met before an individual strives to achieve the needs at a higher level, such as self-actualization. So the bottom level is the most important needs to be met by a human being. And those are the physiological needs, which include food and shelter. So money these people make will first go to these basic needs. And if there is money to spare, then the funds, and if there's money to spare and they don't have insurance, then the funds may go towards the next level, which is safety. And that includes some of the medical needs. So doctor's visits, medications. And so this is why I believe that it's important for Medicaid to be expanded, so that these people are able to meet the most basic of human needs, physiological and the safety needs, so that these people have access to the care that they need to have a healthier and more enjoyable life, and have lesser morbidity and mortality rates from preventable and non-preventable diseases. So when I was thinking about this and doing a little reflection, and the first Bible verse that came to my mind is Matthew 25 and approximately verses 35 to 40. It goes a little over 40. So I'll read a little excerpt for you. And it says, "For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you visited me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" The king will reply, Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. So, like I said, that was the first verse that I thought of when when doing some research about Amendment 2. And so, in this segment, as well as throughout the New Testament, Jesus teaches us, as well as shows us through his actions, to care for those around us. So expanding Medicaid would benefit so many more individuals and their families by providing the much needed care so that they can have a healthier, more fulfilling life. So those are my thoughts, and don't forget to vote on August 4th.